The information you're about to hear is rated M for movies. Listening discretion is advised.
Do not go in there. Woo!
It's you and me, Megatron. No, it's just me.
Damn Movie Show for Tuesday, July 15th. Correct? July 15th?
Yes,
I'm
July 15th,
making
right.
sure because last night was a long night. We went to go see Michael Douglas and Diane Keaton.
And then so it goes.
Special screener. We'll get to that more later on. We also have. You went to go see
Apes on Horses with Guns.
Dawn of the Planet of the
Yeah.
Apes. Also, I got some. I went to go see that new Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Sabotage, you saw that on
DVD?
DVD?
I saw that on DVD. I also saw Brick Mansion with the last Paul. Well, technically the second last to Paul Walker because he still filmed Fast and Furious 7.
Yeah, he's in about half of it, but the way they're going to film it, you probably won't even know it's not him.
Also, I seen a new one from like I told you before. I saw it with Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that a couple weeks ago, but I can't think of the name of it. What is the name of that?
It has Robin Williams, and it has. Let's see. I'll bring it up right here. What's the girl name that went that married Ashton Kutcher?
Oh, Demi Moore.
No, that's his ex-wife.
Oh, I don't know.
Mila Kunis.
Oh, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis? That 70s show couple?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Actually, that 70s show couple are actually together in real life?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that at all. That's great. That's funny because I just saw a Mila Kunis movie today called The Third Person.
The movie that he was in was called The Angriest Man in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's right, The Englishman in Brooklyn. I saw the trailer for that.
That was a good one. We'll get to all that and more. But you know what? Let's talk about Diane Keaton, Michael Douglas.
Yeah, and so it goes. What did I saw the trailer for this a few weeks ago, and I was like, this might have some laughs in it. It might actually be funny from watching. And then when we went and saw it, there was a lot of adult humor, a little bit more raunchy humor with
With old ladies.
With old ladies, or saying some. I mean, there's an older lady in this who plays a real estate agent. She just has some great one-liners. There's some groin jokes. There's some jokes involving number 2 dogs going number 2. But I mean, other than a few times,
Creepy jokes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Other than a few times of going there with it, and I, how I don't like groin jokes in my comedies. I want to laugh at things that aren't always about going to the bathroom in your private parts. But there really wasn't a whole lot. There was about 2 or 3 of those. But the rest of the movie was more about a family and about how a family can sometimes be broken apart by death or by problems that goes on, and then how you put some of your differences behind you and try to come full circle with your life and try to say, okay, this is in the past, but I want to change things. I want to be a better grandfather, father, whatever, to a child or whatever, and put the death of a loved one behind and try to forget about it. You know what I mean?
Well, the movie comes out July 25th, and so it goes, starring Michael Keaton. I keep saying Michael Keaton.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas and Diane Keaton. Why do I keep... I'm switching the names. This is pretty interesting, though. I just read that right there.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. That is interesting.
No, you know her?
Yes, Sissy Spacek is a great actress. She's been doing a lot of these.
She was supposed to play Diane Keaton's role, and she turned it down, and Diane Keaton actually picked the role up.
Yeah, well, she's done a lot of these kinds of movies where she's played the grandma, the old lady next door kind of character, Sissy Spacek. So this, to me, would have been right up her alley. I could see her with her old cogitiness. But you know what? As far as, I think, a romantic relationship, I believe that Michael Douglas was more suited for Diane Keaton.
Oh, of course. And when we first got there, I said to everybody, I'm not a big fan of Diane Keaton because I feel like Diane Keaton has done a lot of these before. She, the last couple roles that she did, have been like this, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you continue doing roles like this and it's the same, you're the grandma, you're the older person, you're getting old. Didn't Michael Douglas and Diane Keaton do a movie recently together?
I'll be honest with you, I can't say I remember. I think Diane Keaton did something with Jack Nicholson recently.
She did The Big Wedding.
Is that what it was, The Big Wedding?
The Big Wedding.
With Robert De Niro, right?
Robert De Niro. She's actually going to be in the new Finding Dory too.
Oh, is she? She's gonna be a voice of
Yeah,
something.
the voice of Jen.
Okay, well we'll sign
Jenny.
We'll sign over what Jenny is.
And then Michael Douglas is going to be in Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's right. Michael Douglas is going to play Hank Pym. If you know about the comics,
I have nothing. I have no knowledge to Ant-Man whatsoever. I have no knowledge to Guardians of the Galaxy, which screener's coming up for that. So I hope.
That'd be nice to get a screener for Guardians. Sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. Also, tell us about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Before you do, he told me actually a funny thing I did not know. I did not know that Tim Burton did the 2011 movie with Mark Wahlberg. I had no idea.
No, it was about, I think, 2005 or 2006.
Excuse me. I did not know Tim Burton.
Yeah.
I just don't see Tim Burton doing a movie like that.
Well, Tim Burton has really done some oddball things. Remember, he did Dark Shadows, he did Mars Attacks, he did These are all nostalgic things. He is a guy that grew up in the 60s and grew up in that. So he probably had that deck of Mars Attacks cards. He probably remembers the Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes movies, He probably watched every day Dark Shadows on TV, So that stuff is nostalgic to him. And that's what you're finding today with your directors and your screenwriters and your people. They grew up on this stuff. I know I'm beating a dead horse. You don't want this stuff to come back because you saw it when you were a kid, and I saw it when I was a kid. And you're like, why do they keep? Because these guys loved it when they were a kid. They watched it religiously, just like we did. And they're like, well, I want to turn it into a better version.
And I like Dark Shadows. I know a lot of people didn't.
Oh God, a lot of people didn't like it. I didn't think it was that bad either. But yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. You remember the 2011 Planet of the Apes?
I do.
Starring James Franco.
That was the big bridge scene, correct?
The bridge, yeah, with the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. And he drugs up these monkeys, James Franco, trying to inadvertently help his father be cured from Alzheimer's. Instead, he ends up giving these monkeys, apes, brains. They could talk. They end up talking. And the one ape who talks is played by... Now, this is motion capture. If you don't know what motion capture is, it's a man in a suit with dots on his body, and he acts out the scenes, or she, and then they turn it into a CGI character. Whether it be Gollum in The Lord of the Rings, or King Kong in King Kong, or now Caesar in Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet. So we picked it up 10 years later with Caesar. He's got his little kingdom in those woods outside of San Francisco, and humans come a-calling to his home with his family. And Koba, his number 2, remember Koba? Koba was the one ape. He was abused. He was tested, and he had scars all over him. He's like, don't trust the humans. Don't trust the humans. Of course, Caesar, he remembers that humans can be good. They're good people, and so they trust him. And eventually, they come to find out that the humans aren't what they seem. They have guns. They want to destroy the apes. So he comes to the humans. He says, hey, you have to stay here. You cannot go and come back to our woods. We don't want you back on our lair. And so the one guy, he's like, well, we need to get to the dam. There's the dam. And they can change their way of living, the humans' way of living. So he goes and pleads to Caesar, played by Andy Serkis, All we want to do is fix this dam. It will help us bring back electricity. We don't want to bother you.
I wish I'd seen this movie.
We don't want to bother
I
you.
wish I did.
And one thing leads to another. The humans, there's always one guy in the human group or that ends up starting trouble. But then in this one, there's an ape called Koba, played by Toby Kebbell. Motion capture. Toby Kebbell plays Koba. And one thing leads to another, and there's a war. And I'll be honest with you, I have never seen a performance of motion capture. I mean, Gollum was amazing in The Two Towers when Andy Serkis played Gollum in The Two Towers. He is 10 times better. His emotion, the everything he exudes in that movie. And I know I'm sounding crazy. I know people. Oh yeah, right. A guy wearing a black suit with dots, and then they put a monkey over him or an ape over him. This guy deserves an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. You heard it here. Andy Serkis deserves an Oscar nomination for playing Caesar.
Now, will it get it?
I'll be honest with you. It's the best male performance of any man I've seen all year. I have seen 73 movies this year. 73 movies this year. Not one single man has given a better performance than Andy Serkis as Caesar. This is a big see it for me. Please don't let this movie down. Go see this movie. And if you haven't seen the first one, I urge you, see the first one, then see this one. And neither one of these two have anything to do with the Tim Burton one. I want to reiterate that. They don't have nothing to do with the Mark Wahlberg, Tim Burton one. These are two separate movies, and they are on their own. And this is like The Empire Strikes Back. I know you're a big Star Wars fan.
Oh, boy.
But if I can explain this in terms of fanboys
Listen,
and people...
it's too early for that. It's too early for The Empire Strikes Back.
This is like the Empire Strikes Back of apes movies. Star Wars was great. Empire Strikes Back was better. And that's my way of explaining it. It's just an amazing movie. The motion capture, the CG, it's all phenomenal.
Well, I want to talk about, I saw a movie called The Angriest Man in Brooklyn, starring Robin Williams, also starring Mila Kunis. Am I saying her name?
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. And I gotta say, great performance by both of them. I have never seen Robin Williams play such an angry person in my whole entire life. Robin Williams is a comedian. He's a funny guy. If you have not seen any of his stand-ups, I'm telling you, you'll piss your pants. I swear, you'll piss your pants. He's very funny. He's very outgoing. And just the things that he can do on a stage in front of an audience, right off the top of his head, is amazing. But he can also play serious roles, which I you know how I feel about people as comedians that play serious roles. I don't really think that fits in their suit. But I gotta say, last one I saw with Robin Williams, God help me out here, Skip. Last movie he did it with Robert De Niro, or was it Al Pacino?
Oh, that's right. Memento.
Memento.
No, not Memento. In oh God. Oh man. Now you put me on the spot. It's not Memento. It's not Inception. It's not. It's from Christopher Nolan, where he was like a bad guy, right? Where he was the bad guy. Oh my God. Oh, you were putting me on the spot, and
We're gonna find this out. But before I'm gonna go on with it.
Insomnia.
A great Christopher Nolan film. It's actually in the best of box set that he has.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mila Kunis, she plays this nurse that is taking over. That you find out later on that she's banging the real doctor, and she takes over his patients for the day, and somehow he is Robin Williams, is one of the patients that she takes over, and Robin Williams is this. I'm telling you, he's this horrible man and this real mad. He's always angry. He pretty much corners her into a corner and asks him, how long do I have to live? Because he has a brain tumor. And she looks at a magazine and she says 90 minutes. No, yeah.
90 days?
90 minutes.
90 minutes?
90 minutes. So
Wow.
he's doing anything and everything that he has to do before he dies. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It came out this year, went straight to DVD. So it's one of those B films with 2 A actors in it, A-list actors. Also, I saw Brick Mansion with one of the last roles Paul Walker did. Help me out here. Rizzo, and who's the other guy?
Oh, I can't think of the guy's name. I know who you're talking about, but I don't know the guy's name. I really don't. When it came out in the theater, I said, who the heck is that guy? And I couldn't think of the guy's name then, because it's a French actor. He's a French action star, and I talked to you about it, and he's going to be the next Jean-Claude Van Damme probably, because I think he's got the action.
David
shot.
Bell.
That's right, David Bell.
David Bell. He's a really good martial arts actor. He's done now this movie right here is it was a remake of a movie called District 13.
Oh, really?
It's a remake of the movie District 13.
Oh, okay.
But he's done a couple films overseas, which I think like you said, I think he's going to be the new Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, once he starts getting more roles, you'll start to see that he's not old either. He's young. He's in his late 20s, early 30s. So he's got a long career ahead of him if he gets his keeps doing these kinds of roles where he's the action star. Because right now our action stars are Liam Neeson and Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. We don't really need those guys anymore. We've had our plenty of years with them, huh?
We have, and I don't want to get off topic here, but you're right. I think Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, they're trying to make a comeback. They want to pick up where they left off. Arnold Schwarzenegger went off and he was the governor of California. That worked okay for him, not too well. And then he comes back and he wants to be this big movie star again, and he has Terminator coming out again, and I really don't know, because let's put it this way, I liked Last Stand. I thought it was okay. I thought it brought back a classic Arnold Schwarzenegger, reminded me of Last Action Hero meets Kindergarten Cop, because of his jokes in there, and then he just had this look like Last Action Hero. And I hope everybody out there has seen Last Action Hero, because that's a fantastic Arnold Schwarzenegger film. What'd you think? I thought it was great.
I have another friend that absolutely loves that movie, and I sometimes say to myself, what the heck do you think you're watching? But it did have Ian McKellen in it, so that's a good thing for it.
I thought it was a good movie.
I know a lot of people did. A lot of people just are so enamored with Schwarzenegger that they can't see that the guy's a horrible actor, and that the movies he's in are horrible unless he's got somebody he can interact with, like twins, like Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And he can act off of somebody, but when he's got he's just not.
Well,
not good.
The movie came out. The budget on the movie was $28 million. Domestically over here, it did $20 million, so it fell over here. Overseas, it did $32 million, so it barely broke what it had to make.
Yeah.
And this is what I say about these remakes. You're making these remakes. People are going to find out that they are remakes of other movies, and and some people are going to care. And that just shows you how many Paul Walker fans there are really not.
I'll say this right now. If it wasn't for the Fast and the Furious, there wouldn't be a career of Paul. I feel like bad saying that, but he's not that good of an actor. Fast and the Furious just started getting good writers and directors, and the movie started getting better, and so his career got rejuvenated. But as of Fast and Furious 4, Paul Walker's career was dead. Vin Diesel's career was dead. They scraped together a comeback based on Fast and Furious 4, 5, and 6. You know, Vin Diesel started doing Riddick 2.
Yeah.
And Riddick.
Well, Riddick was his baby, though. You know, he made.
Now
Riddick.
they're doing Triple H, another Triple H.
Yeah.
Triple X.
Well,
you know?
Paul Walker is coming out with his last film, which is Fast and Furious. Now, his brothers are going to help film him because, obviously, you know, Vin Diesel died in a car accident. You know, God rest his soul. But Fast and Furious 7 is coming out and is scheduled to be on time. But hey, listen, when we come back here on the Best in Movie Show, we're going to get more into some more movie reviews. Also, we're going to do movie news, so stick around. You're watching the Best Day Movie Show.